Here are the differences between Presta and Schrader valve stems to help you make a decision on which is better for your bike. A lot of you might not have even had a clue that different valve stems exist, so I'm here to expand your horizons. Talk about the Schrader valve first because it's overall the most common one you'll see. That's for a very good reason because it's compatible with almost anything that holds air. Due to this, it's super easy to find some sort of air source anywhere really. It's also a super durable option just due to the fact of how thick the valve itself actually is. In a way, that's also a disadvantage. We'll talk about that in a second. Inflating is super simple because you can either thread something onto the threads itself or just put something directly on top of the valve that pushes the pin in and allows air to enter it. Deflating is super simple since you could just take your fingernail or some sort of small object, push the pin in, and out your air goes. Now, I hate to say it, but there are some Schrader disadvantages. Like I mentioned before, thickness is a feature of the Schrader valve, but it's also a disadvantage if you're running thin rims. This is due to the fact that there's not enough supporting material around the valve stem itself, and this will ultimately cause a weak spot in your rim. Now, if your rims are too deep, there could be an issue as well because the Schrader valves are really short. Not like this matters to a lot of you guys, but it's also the heavier option compared to Presta valves. As a Schrader valve guy myself, I really do have to say the pros do outweigh the cons. Now for the Presta valves. These were actually invented to run super high pressure road bike tires. So arguably they handle high pressures better than the Schrader valve. The valve stem itself has a much smaller circumference, so it's not going to take up as much space on the rim, ultimately allowing the rim to be stronger. They're also super long looking, so if you're running deeper rims, you're not going to have an issue with trying to get these to actually show through the rim. While yes, the core from the Schrader can be removed with a tool, Presta valve stems are actually made to have the core removed, which is very beneficial for tubeless setups. Presta valve stems require a special sort of pump to actually use them, so it is a little bit more difficult to fill these up with air. But deflating tires, super easy, you literally just press down. That's where the name comes from. Since these are significantly thinner than your Schrader valve stems, durability is going to be a little bit questionable. Very common to see Presta valves broken because that little piece that sticks out at the end bends and your valve's completely stuck open. In comparison to the Schrader valve, the Presta valve is going to be a lot slower to pump up with air due to the fact that there isn't as much airflow going in since it is smaller. Trying to find a Presta tube outside of a bike shop can be a little bit challenging since the majority of them are going to be Schrader, but that in itself is not too big of a deal.